Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel. Leo, happy birthday season 2. This is your 2020 August tarot card reading. It is a general reading. It might resonate for you. If you'd like to support me, then please drop me a like and a comment, and you can also join me for the extended version of this reading. I'll put the details for that in the description box and in the comment section below. You might also like to check out your rising and your moon sign. But let's go ahead, get started and see what's coming up in August for you. Okay, Leo, let's take a look at your energy story for August. So this is your solar returns and the chance for you to step out and reinvent yourself. One of the notes that I get when I connect in with you is the fact that you are going to have the most beautiful, like, golden aura of protection around you as you move through this season. And I think for many of you, as we reflect upon what Cancer energy delivered for us, it was certainly an emotional journey that you had to take, and probably at times felt really overwhelming and almost like you were drowning in some of the observations of what wasn't working, you know, as we were moving through Venus Mercury retrograde, and also really that sense of just not being able to kind of clear out some of that wound energy, and so much of it coming to the surface to be healed, but at times just not sitting hugely comfortably with us. So that's an emotional journey that you have walked through and survived, and now you get to come out of the other side, stepping forward and kind of shedding a skin, if you like, you know. And actually, even though we've got all of this powerful water flowing, you know, the figure here looks defiant as she looks back on the journey that she's just taken. So what you've gained from that experience is so powerful. And now you step forward, like I said, with this beautiful golden aura that is being charged by the energy of the sun. It's enhancing all of the positive aspects of you. It's giving you that sense of regeneration and warmth. And maybe you've had to leave behind someone or something or an old aspect of the self. There was definitely a closing and a sense of finality that came, you know, as we finished up that Cancer, Capricorn, North and South Node eclipse cycle. So we begin the month with a full moon in the sign of Aquarius in your 7th house of relationships. So that full moon is absolutely illuminating where we need to change or reinvent something with the most important relationships and connections in our life. Of course, with ourselves first and foremost. King of Swords. So who does this represent? Now, of course, the sign of Aquarius is linked to the King of Swords. Could be another air sign, a Gemini or a Libra. Now, you are actually turned away from this energy. But what I see is that this full moon is going to be illuminating an opportunity for you to come to the table, right? Now, that might mean that you're coming to the table with yourself, Leo. You're having that really difficult conversation between you and you. Or it could certainly be representative of somebody else who wants to talk, wants to communicate, wants to figure out a way forward. This might show up from a business perspective or a romantic perspective, could come into your family dynamic or within a friendship group. You yourself will know the significance of who this energy is right now, Leo. What I would invite you to remember is everything that you've been unlearning through this emotional journey that you've just taken. So this is not the time to jump back in and repeat the same cycle. But you're defiant here. So I don't really see that being something that is even on your radar. And actually, Mars and Aries energy, again, is wanting to drive something forward. It's wanting to create a whole new agenda, and one that's purposeful and directive. To be honest, the King of Swords energy for you to embody is incredibly helpful for you. Because again, I think it's just clearing out a lot of that water energy and helping you to think differently. It's giving a transparency of thought, a sense of clarity, and really helping you to strategize and plan. That's important because toward the end of July and the first part of August is the best opportunity to really put things into motion, because Mars moves retrograde in September. And when it does so, it can kind of impact our motivation, if you like. We can become a little bit more directionless and lackluster. And so the time to really be putting things into place is now. So here we have the Two of Cups. So this absolutely could be playing out in terms of a relationship. What we see is two figures here, both holding a cup, both coming to the table with something to offer. They're standing in the water here, but the water does feel still, and there's beautiful sunlit sparkles kind of shining. So there's a sense of optimism that I have and a way forward. What I need you to understand, though, is that through this month of August, there are some challenging and oppositionary energies, okay? When Mars squares Pluto on the 13th and then it squares Saturn on the 24th, there's some crisis points here. And what we need to be prepared for is that we might come to the table with very different agendas or a very different need that has to be fulfilled. But this is the time to really show a whole new level of interdependence. This is how you get to show up in a much more conscious way than you ever have before, Leo. This is where you take accountability. This is your new love language, your own accountability. And when I say love language, I mean that that's expressed in all areas of your life. Yeah, because the work that you do, the family that you have, the way you take care of yourself, the way that you connect with your friends or your partners. So, you know, this is one person or people coming to the table and you having the chance to figure out a way forward based on the understanding of the experiences that you've been through, what you've released and had to let go of. King of Swords is almost like that surgical precision in let's go right down into the detail. Now your Leo Sun energy and that fiery Mars in Aries probably just wants to get going or get gone, you know. It's just kind of like, let's move, let's do it, let's kind of act upon this, you know, seize the day. That's the kind of energy that's coming. But there's something about this need to balance out the polarizing energies here, remember. So just taking a moment to breathe and really making sure you're not missing anything is going to be important. Now on the 7th of the month, Venus moves into the sign of Cancer. Here we have Ace of Cups. Look at beautiful rainbow coming out from the cup here, suggesting that there is a time of optimism, something that's coming in as a result of what you've been through, almost some good karma to come your way. You know, all of your senses are now being activated. We're in your solar returns energy. This is the time when you should be feeling most confident, that you can draw upon those natural reserves in a whole new way. You know, this is about the way you're taking care of yourself. And this is the thing, right? When we look at that sense of interdependence, it's this whole new conscious understanding that, you know what, if I want to invite in that level of love, I have to give that to myself. If I'm constantly in a state of healing and giving to others and I can't receive or allow myself to be healed, I'm not creating equal energy exchange. So this energy of Ace of Cups coming in, I think, is going to be incredibly supportive and a beautiful reminder to you, Leo, of what you have just experienced in the first 6 months of this year. Now listen, that full moon in Aquarius is going to link back to the new moon that took place on the 24th of January. So what was going on back in your world right then? Because we have a culmination of it happening now. Ace of Cups does absolutely suggest that anything that you've had to let go of, you are now creating space for something really beautiful to be able to enter in. And how is that happening? Because you've done the shadow work. I mean, look, literally, she's gifting you this Ace of Cups. Beautiful. She's holding the light. This is as a result of, you know, where you have been unafraid to go to those darker, more difficult, more wound energy. And you know, when Chiron turned retrograde and that real focus of working with that wound energy, and you know, it's retrograde for the next few months. So, you know, this is work that we're continuing to do. You know, Pluto still retrograde in that sign of Capricorn. Saturn now retrograde back into Capricorn as well. You know, we're working with these heavier, darker energies, but they're so transformative. and they're delivering you such a gift. On the 15th of the month, Uranus moves retrograde in the sign of Taurus, going to be there right through until the start of January 2021. Again, bringing the sense of wanting to change, wanting to break free, devil energy, ruled by Saturn. So again, I think that the cycle of what Saturn's doing right now is so important. But showing you how far you've come, showing you that you're in a constant state of evolution and evolving. Now, maybe this is a Capricorn energy, and it's key in terms of what we're looking at with the relationship here. You know, are they stepping forward with something for you? Or is it laced with condition? I think you're going to need to look between the lines a little bit around that. Like I said, I think people will have different types of agenda as we move forward. And what is important is that you take the time to be really transparent on what you need. So if you're looking for a new relationship, you know, or you're trying to reinvent something, if you're wanting to see a change in your career or focus upon something that's happening around your work, the more honest you are with yourself, the more likely you are to be able to step into the vision of that you're holding for yourself. 10 of Cups. I mean, there's a lot of emotional energy that's still playing out for you this month. But I think it's because you are seeing yourself in a whole new way. And that actually there's almost this like new level of deep appreciation that's emerging as well, which is incredibly beautiful to witness. Will everybody understand that and accept that change that you're presenting out? Not necessarily. Should that derail you or stop you from being authentic with it? Absolutely not. Like we said, don't water things down. King of Pentacles. Okay, so Earth sign. Is this a Capricorn energy linked in with the devil here as well, or a Virgo or Taurus? Certainly they're offering something or have the opportunity to deliver a deeper sense of what I see as emotional security. You just need to make sure it's aligning with what your soul wants and your soul is looking for. Like I said though, I just have this beautiful golden protection around you all through the month. Which means that where you need to see somebody's true motives, it will be revealed to you. It means that the more authentic you are and the more able you are to recognize and be accountable for your own energy, the better things are going to go for you and the closer you're going to move towards this vision of success for you. Five of Pentacles. She looks vulnerable here. Yeah, she's sat in front of this incredibly vibrant, luminous full moon. So there's a vulnerability and there's an understanding that sometimes, you know, those moments of hardship, those moments where we feel very isolated or cut off or things are taken away from us are sometimes the most transformative of our lives. You know, that's where we dig deeper than we ever have before. That's where we learn more about ourselves. That's where we have nowhere to hide. But that vulnerability can strip something away from our ego self and really help us to connect more deeply to our spiritual self. And that's what I see happening. For me, this Five of Pentacles is just about you giving yourself permission to be vulnerable, giving yourself permission to be upfront and open about who you are, take accountability for that so that you can receive the gift of everything that has to offer. Making sure that you're open and honest with the people in your life, in the relationships in your life, so that you can transform and let them go to the next level, because that's what you've been through. That's the journey. That's what it's shown you about yourself. Now, maybe some of you have someone or something that you're dealing with that has left you feeling isolated or somehow now in a place of, you know, dealing with less than what you expected, whether that be fiscally, whether that be from a perspective of love or energy or attention. But remember, what we have here is two people each offering something up. It's now a case of how can we find a middle ground here? How can we find a way forward? Now, the way forward may mean that you have to walk away completely. But if you do, something new is coming in, and it's really beautiful. If you are working between a choice of two people here, one certainly represents a time where you can step into a closer alignment to what you want for the future. And something else represents this continual journey of going back through this challenging emotional navigation through a difficult landscape. Yeah, so it's kind of, I feel like it's going to be quite a clear choice if that's where you find yourself, Leo. I think that you have the opportunity to go to a whole next level with something, but it does require that you honor and accept the letting go or the releasing of where you've held yourself back somewhere. You know, these couple of dates when Mars squares Pluto on the 13th and squares Saturn on the 24th, I think are going to be incredibly helpful to show you exactly where you could potentially trip yourself up. You know, that's almost the illumination of your devil moment. And that's where you're going to feel most vulnerable. But remember, if you sit in the work of it, then what's going to come from it, you're going to feel incredibly excited about. Oh, I love this for you. Look, your animal card is the lion. How perfect. Be generous of spirit. Karmically speaking, it's so instantaneous through this season. So you come to the table with low energy and it's going to come back almost instantly. So the more compassionate, the more courageous, the more kind, the more inclusive, the more authentic, the more accountable, the more loving you can be. You're the head of the pride. Lead by example, Leo. Step into your greatness this month and show other people how they should be showing up. It will come back to you tenfold. Field of Dreams. For me, this kind of links in really to what's going on with the Ten of Cups here. Here we have kind of fairy energies sitting atop these almost eggs that are sort of ready to hatch. And there's this beautiful link of energy again that's coming from the full moon here. So something celestial being illuminated around the beginning of the month with that full moon in Aquarius. And remember, Aquarius energy is about innovation. It's about preparing us for the future. So something that's coming up this month is absolutely preparing you to be able to step into everything that you seek. A vision of your life that you've been holding and you're locked into. And all these butterflies representing the transformational energy that you're going through right now. And some of that is messy, but it's absolutely worth it. Okay, how interesting. 7th house of partners. Okay, so of course what we talked about is that the full moon in Aquarius is in your 7th house. So I think that this is where you're really going to be seeing these energies play out. But you have the opportunity to take something to the next level and to start to look at your relationship from a much more conscious perspective. I think what's happening for you this month, Leo, is that you're really starting to understand how to fulfill your own needs in so many different ways. And you're not looking for people to validate you. You're not craving, you're not reliant upon people in the same way that you used to be. that's what this journey's delivered for you. And that changes the game. That puts you out up ahead. That allows you to be able to be generous with your energy because you're not requiring it to be reciprocated, but actually what happens is that inevitably it will anyway. So actually, you end up getting what you want, but coming at it from a completely new approach. And I think that's probably what this season is going to reveal to you really powerfully, is the fact that changing your approach still gets you what you want, but at the same time allows you to feel more comfortable with who you are, having shed so much of the limitations or, the unhealthy patterns or the fears that have held you back. It's the integration of the shadow, right at the center of your reading. It's the integration of that aspect of self that's helping you to overcome something so that you can give yourself permission to go to the next level. And it permeates into all of the aspects of your world in a really powerful, supportive way. Beautiful. Okay, I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into your month ahead, Leo. I wish you many happy returns for this birthday season for you. If you would like to join me for the extended version of your reading, we're going to go ahead now and pull some more clarifying cards. You can find the link for this in the description box underneath and in the comments section. Now, this is a general reading. So what I'm going to invite you to do right now is to think about a question that may not have come up in this main spread, and I will pull a couple of cards for it, and we'll cover this off in the extended. So just put your focus on that now for me. Okay. Right, let's go ahead and clarify this main spread right now. So just beginning with this Eight of Cups energy. Okay, we have Knight of Wands, typically Sagittarius, but absolutely reflective of your fire energy. And again, that Mars and Aries. And again, look how free she is in her energy right there. So even though this emotional journey that you've been on, the decisions and choices you've had to make may have felt, particularly challenging, we come to a point where you're really releasing and ready to move forward. Something in the past is being resolved and reconciled, and a sense of healing coming through. Again, another link to Sagittarius energy, so that might be important for some of you. We'll look at that in more detail in the extended. Page of Cups here. Nine of Swords, okay. We saw you kind of turned away from that King of Swords energy, so there may be something going on here with this particular individual, or what that energy is representative for you. Maybe a choice and a decision to make. Yeah, Seven of Wands. I really like this energy for you because I think, that it is this quiet, reflective energy, but you're just not taking any shit, You're really, again, protected. You've got very strong boundaries in place. Venus in Cancer really illuminates where we need to look at our boundary issues and how they're playing out and what we've learned, Ace of Cups, justice. You know what? This is exactly it. It's karmic justice. It's something coming in as a result of the work that you've done. Again, this mirror aspect that we have going on with all of this 7th house energy. And justice does also link in with the sign of Libra, so that might be important. Shadow work, 5 of Pentacles. And, I think that's what it feels like, right? When we do that shadow work, we're very much on our own. No one can really step into our shoes when we're trying to find our way out. But here's your key. What comes from it? Death, transformation, that Scorpio energy. Mars is the co-ruler of Scorpio. And so it's important as we look at the placement of how it's transiting direct and then what's going to happen when it moves retrograde. Okay, 8 of Cups again. Devil bringing through the King of Wands. So fire energy, but I feel, to be honest, this is representing you, and I think that devil, someone or something, maybe there's been some trust issues there. Ten of Swords, yeah. There is the sense of finality, you know, real closing out of a chapter of your life. And even if there's still some heaviness or some sadness around it, I also just see you're aware of how much is going to come into bloom now that you've been able to let go or release something. Okay, just pull a couple more for these oracles. Nine of Cups. Another King of Pentacles coming up here. So perhaps, and the card is Strength, perhaps this earth sign or someone who's representing the opportunity for more emotional or financial security is going to be important. So look, we're going to go into more in depth with this extended reading, Leo. In the meantime, I just want to say thank you for tuning into the channel. I wish you beautiful energy for this solar returns. Remember this gorgeous golden aura of protection that's come through in your reading, and hold that close as you make your way through this month. Take good care, and I'll connect with you again soon.